Hello everyone, I'm Akriti Dave from New Age Institute of Engineering and Technology. We will be discussing about the next unit of Indian Constitution, and that is about parliamentary form of government in India. See, basically there are three kinds of system. One is parliamentary, one is presidential, and the other is monarchy. If we talk about the parliamentary system, here Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and President is there. Okay. If we talk about the presidential system, basically it's ruled by the president itself. We can elect president directly. That is presidential system. Third one is monarchy, in which king or queen rules. In India, we are having parliamentary because we are having Lok Sabha people, which can be elected by us directly, democratically. Lok Sabha elects the Rajya Sabha, and then Rajya Sabha further elects the president. That is how the parliamentary form of government works. So let us see about that in the detail. Basically, parliamentary system is composed of two things. One is Lok Sabha, second one is Rajya Sabha. So there are certain merits and demerits also of this system. And along with that, we need to understand the status of president in this system. Okay, so that is how this unit is bifurcated. So what is parliamentary system? The first question is that what is parliamentary system? See, parliamentary system, or we can say the parliamentary democracy, is basically a system of democratic governance. Now, how it is democratic? Because we are electing all those persons who are above 18 and qualified to vote are electing the members of the Lok Sabha. Further, these Lok Sabha members can elect the Rajya Sabha members, and Rajya Sabha members further elect the president. So basically, it's a democratic governance. Okay, here the executive actually derives its democratic legitimacy from their ability to command the confidence of the legislature. Why this confidence is mentioned? If any time in the Lok Sabha, or we can say against the Prime Minister, no confidence motion is passed, definitely Lok Sabha can be dissolved. Means it will discontinue to work. So that's why confidence motion is very necessary for ruling in the democracy. For an example, we can see here in the difference of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, it is written that it can be dissolved earlier by passing no confidence motion. No doubt the tenure is of 5 years, but it can be dissolved if no confidence motion is passed. So all the ruler of the Lok Sabha who has been elected by the democracy must have confidence in the legislature so that they can command well. Now, what is the comparison between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? Two houses are building a parliamentary system. So let us understand that Lok Sabha is actually known as House of People also. Same way Rajya Sabha is known as Council of States. These are the other names for the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In other countries, some of the words for their system are like cabinet is there, they are having Senate also they are having Republic, Congress, this kind of houses are named. Okay. In here, India, we are having House of People, that is Lok Sabha, and Council of States, that is Rajya Sabha. Second, these Lok Sabha members are actually elected by the people who are qualified to vote. Okay, so Indian citizens can elect them directly if they are qualified to vote. Direct elections are followed in Lok Sabha. Whereas in Rajya Sabha, all those members who have been selected in Lok Sabha are electing the people of the Rajya Sabha. So we can say they are indirectly elected because definitely the people who have elected Lok Sabha people are electing them. So one kind of indirect election is there. Third one, what is the tenure of the houses? So we can say Lok Sabha can continue for 5 years. It can be dissolved earlier if no confidence motion is passed. Second thing for the Rajya Sabha, it's a permanent body. Okay, there is no specific tenure for that. It can work endlessly. Lok Sabha is headed by the Speaker, and whereas in Rajya Sabha, Vice President heads it as a chairman of this house. Okay, that is the main composition of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, Vice President as well as the Speaker. Minimum age to become the Lok Sabha member is 25 years and minimum age to become the Rajya Sabha member is 30 years. That is how the eligibility of a person is mentioned. Okay, any Indian citizen who is crossing this age can be the member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha if he or she is elected. What is the strength of this houses? 552 members are there in Lok Sabha, 250 members are there in the Rajya Sabha. Okay, that is how the strength of these houses are mentioned. Now, what is the function of this house? Whenever any bill is passed, that is originated in Lok Sabha mostly. Okay, then this bill is passed to the Rajya Sabha for their review and suggestion, and whatever their answer is, it is returned after analysis to the Lok Sabha. Means Lok Sabha signs the thing, Rajya Sabha reviews it, and then Rajya Sabha signs it back. If it is approved, definitely it becomes a very important thing. If it is not approved, sometimes the suggestions are done by the Rajya Sabha. So that is the task of the Lok Sabha. In the Rajya Sabha, they are having this special power to suggest the things, review the things, analyze the things done by the Lok Sabha. So that is the main function of this Rajya Sabha. It can also have the power to announce what is required as well as what things are in public interest, right? So these things are for the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha functionality. Next one is this strength 552 is bifurcated like this. 530 represents the state members, 20 are from the union territories, okay, and 2 are actually nominated by the president from Anglo-Indian community. That is how this strength is bifurcated. Same way as we saw that maximum strength of the Rajya Sabha is 250. 238 are elected indirectly, so they are by the Lok Sabha members, and they can be the combination of state and union territories. Here it's not written like this as the Lok Sabha. No particular number is there for how many from the states or how many from the union territories. The combined digit is 238 for the Rajya Sabha. 12 other members, 238 plus 12 is 250. So 12 members are nominated by the president. That is how Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha composition is different. Current strength as of now is 545. Okay, so we can see the current bifurcation, and here in the Rajya Sabha we are having 245. Okay, that is how it is going in the current scenario. So that's about the composition of these things. Maximum strengths are shown as 552 and 250. Okay. Next one is what are the merits of this system? Because we know it's a democracy and we are electing the members of Lok Sabha who are furthermore electing the members of the Rajya Sabha. So what are the merits of this system? So first thing is that there will be a harmony between executive as well as the legislature. As we know, three pillars are there. Executive is there, okay, legislature is there, and judiciary is there. So whenever we talk about the ruler and the one that is actually mentioning the rules, both of them will have the harmony, because we know that in a parliamentary system there is a close harmony and cooperation between the executive and legislature, okay, because ministers belong to the ruling party, so they, if they want to enjoy the majority, definitely they need to work according to this only. So harmony is the main advantage of this parliamentary system. Second one, the government is quite responsible and clean. Every process is transparent and responsible in the sense they are answerable to each other. Lok Sabha is working something, then analysis or review or suggestion approval is done by Rajya Sabha. So they are accountable to each other, right? So that's why it's responsible and clean government. And definitely in the democracy, it is always matter. Third thing is it's a people's government because we are electing direct elected members of Lok Sabha, and after that by the indirect election Rajya Sabha people are elected. So that is a people's government under the democracy. Fourth one is quick decision making because sometimes the ruling party enjoys majority support. So whatever decisions are required for that, definitely it can be made quite quickly. Fifth one is flexible government because there is a lot of flexibility in this system. If we want to change some situation, if the emergency situation is there, definitely everything can work according to that. So government is quite flexible in the parliamentary system. Next is it is conducive to national integration. Why it is conducive to national integration? Because different regions, cultures, everything is summed up in the bifurcation. We have seen so many members who represent the state, so many members who represent the union territories. So basically, it's conducive to this national integration. Last one is educational value. That is also merits because all the time the policies and programs of the government will be made on the basis of the people's welfare only. Educational value in the sense the policies and things will be made in such a way where actually it increases the growth of the country. Okay, so that's why it's having that. The ministers being the member of legislature have to respond to so many issues. So that's why it's having the educational value. So these are the merits of the parliamentary system. Now, along with that, some of the demerits are also there. Like first one is that the weak separation of powers. Okay, the sometimes we can say the power is violated. Ministers can be a member from the ruling party. Okay, and sometimes the dominating policy making can also be there from them. Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha people can also be different from the ruling parties. So sometimes there will be a weak separation of powers. Okay, it is also possible that a person is handling different portfolio. After some years, it will be assigned to a different portfolio, and that kind of things will be like quite conflict. Okay, so that is how the weak separation of powers is there. Second one is cabinet dictatorship. Here, the Council of Ministers, with the support of the majority in the lower house of the legislature, actually they are quite irresponsible sometimes because they know they are in the majority and they don't need to worry kind of thing. So at that time, what happens? Sometimes a lot of conflicts arises and views of opposition can be in the changed manner. So that's when the cabinet dictatorship is also followed. It's a system of despotism. Sometimes it is known as despotism also, right? Because here what happens, cabinet government can be reduced or increased, but definitely it works according to their own mind only, right? So that's why for their opinion, own rule, own choices, the cabinet dictatorship is there. Sometimes the failure to take prompt decision, no doubt the decision will be taken quickly, but sometimes it's possible that because so many members are there and so many things are going as per the democracy, majority of the people can also have wrong decision. Okay, so here the failure to take prompt decision means at the right time the decision cannot be even right. So that is why the failure to take prompt decision is there. There is also a partisanship in the sense sometimes all the members of the party are blind follower of their leader. They are just blind follower of their leader. Means whatever they are saying, they are not even thinking that whether it is in national interest or people's interest. So that is how partisanship is followed. Only the blind following of the leader. Okay. So that's how the partisanship works. After that, government by amateurs, yes, definitely sometimes the ministers are amateurs because they can be from different categories of this bifurcation of portfolio, in which one can be from initial years of home ministry and now he or she has been assigned to foreign ministry or something. So that kind of thing can be done. So government by amateurs. If a 10-year experienced person in finance ministry is now handling education department, then definitely education department point of view, that person will be amateur. He or she is not having the experience to handle the education. No doubt they are having the experience to handle from 10 years to the finance, but not for the education. So that's why we can say it will be a government by amateurs many times. And also per year, every members get changed. Okay, so that's how this government by amateurs is there. Controlled by the bureaucracy, because definitely the real ruling is done by this IAS, IPS, and all the things. Okay, those are in the central government. So that is controlled by the bureaucracy. The ministers actually run as per the civil servants' advice. So main control is by the bureaucracy itself, where the civil servants are working. So that is how these demerits are identified. Also, what is presidential form of government that is mentioned, not a part of your syllabus, but because we are having status of president. So let us just see this topic. In the presidential form of government, president is the chief executive. So his members are responsible to the legislature and he enjoys a fixed term. But when we talk about the parliamentary system, basically here the prime minister is having more power than the president. Okay, so that is the basic difference between this presidential and parliamentary system. Now, let us understand the point of view about the status of the president in India. See, according to the Article 54, we are having this election of the president's terms, how he or she can be elected. So basically, they have identified that president can be elected, okay, and they can be elected by which? Here we are having the legislative assemblies of state, elected members of both the houses of parliament, okay, and only two union territories, that is Delhi and Puducherry, can take part in the election of the president. So we can see here, basically the election of president is consisting of elected members of both the houses, okay, also legislative assemblies of the state, and two union territories, Delhi and Puducherry. So here it's a system of proportional representation, okay, by a single transferable vote. That is how he's elected. Now, the oath of the president is administered by the Chief Justice of India and in his absence by the most senior judge. That is how in the TV also we have seen a lot of times how the president is taking the oath. So that is how in India the system is followed. Now, what is the eligibility to become a president of India? So Article 58 mentions that a presidential candidate must be a citizen of India. That is the first and foremost rule. Second one, he or she must have completed the age of 35 years. Okay, we have seen in Lok Sabha minimum age was 25, Rajya Sabha 30, for the president it's 35. That person must be qualified for election as a member of the Lok Sabha also, and he or she must not hold any office of profit under the union or state government or any local authority. That is the fourth rule. So that is how the status of the president is mentioned. How the eligibility is there, that is also mentioned. So, what is the term of office? In India, the tenure of 5 years is assigned for the president. Okay. In between, he can resign also, but normally the day he has takes up his post. Okay. After that, 5 years will be there for his tenure. He can resign from his post by writing resignation to the Vice President of India, and he will continue to hold the office after giving resignation also till the new successor is there. Means if one person has given the resignation, but until the new president has been found, he can continue his work. Right? So that is how this term works. Second is the impeachment of president, means the removal process of president. So some clause are given in our constitution for that. Impeachment is basically the process to remove the president of India before his term expires. Means before 5 years, if there is this thing, impeachment means he will be removed. Impeachment can be carried out if the Constitution of India is violated by President. If any time one is observing that President has violated the Constitution of India, this process can begin. So it can be initiated either of the two houses of the Parliament. It can start from the Lok Sabha also, or it can start from the Rajya Sabha also. Two-third majority is required to pass the resolution, means from the total House membership, two-third members must agree for this. A notice is signed by a quarter of the member of the House and containing the charges is sent to the President. Means quarter of the people, that is 25% of the total House, also signs this petition for them that okay, the charges are found against the President, so that will be sent to the President that you have done this. After getting this thing, after getting this charge list, which were agreed by two-third members as well as the one-fourth members has already signed it, he will get 14 days to claim his innocence, that he is not wrong or he has not violated the constitution. He is having 14 days to prove that. If he fails to do so, that in the 14 days, if president fails to do so, that okay, now he's not proven innocence, he has actually violated the Indian constitution, then he must leave his place. Okay, so at that time the impeachment will be done. If he fails to proceed in 14 days by proving himself that he has not violated, definitely he will be impeached, so he has to leave his house. So that is the process of president. He can either resign or he will be impeached. Okay, that is how it's done. Now, salary and residence of the president. So basically, 1,50,000 per month is the salary of the president. And for the residence, definitely we all know that he or she lives in the Rashtrapati Bhavan, whatever the president of India will be, that stays in Rashtrapati Bhavan, and it is situated in New Delhi. Okay, so that is the status of the president. So, which kind of questions can be asked from this unit? Basically, the questions can be from Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha for the parliamentary system, merits and demerits of the parliamentary system, or the status of the president. Everything can be asked. So that is how this unit of parliamentary system of India was there. So thank you so much, and we will go with the next topics of the units of our Indian Constitution in next session. Thank you.